Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross.
Hi, hello, hey, hi.
I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes.
Well, welcome to the Vzine this week. It is the 26th of February and it's t-shirt weather already. So that's the thing about Greece. When it's bad weather, it's very bad weather, but it only lasts for a couple of months. And yes, I was sitting out on the front step earlier thinking I can't do this without sunblock because I will burn, and that's absolutely fabulous. I love the thing of coming up the stairs in the morning, opening my blinds and seeing sunshine. That just makes me happy. I don't know why, it just does. So I was thinking about happiness a lot recently because I've just read a fantastic book all about a woman who lost her husband and how she dealt with that. And then I was listening to Steve Bartlett's Diary of a CEO, and he was asking, you know, who are you a slave to? Are you a slave to your own happiness, or are you a slave to other things that don't really matter? Gary Vaynerchuk's also been talking about it recently, and it's an elusive beast, this happiness, and I think it only comes in short waves. I think the best you can hope for most of the time is peacefulness with occasional shots of joy. That's what I'm aiming for nowadays, and if I just get that, then I'll be happy. And of course, having something to do that gives you meaning, whether that's your day job or whether it's a hobby, that is another way to make yourself happy. But finally, the thing I would really recommend to everyone is meditation. I am a late comer to meditation. I only did it about, well, I suppose a year ago. I started properly meditating with guided meditations on a regular basis, and I find it makes the most incredible difference to my levels of happiness. So if you're new to all this, I would recommend you go and download the new Mind Valley Quests app, and there is several meditations on that, guided meditations, which means you don't have to try and think empty thoughts. And the one I love the most is Vishen Lakhiani's 6-phase meditation, which you can either do it in bits, so you can do each of the 6 phases individually, or you can do the whole lot together, which takes about 15 minutes. Highly recommend it, totally free. Download it on the App Store and see what it does to your levels of happiness. Right, let's get on with the show, shall we? I've got some brilliant interludes for you this week. Hi there, it's Nicola here, and in the next series of 7 videos I want to tell you a story about a lady called Megan. Megan is a trainer and a consultant. She's been working in a specialist field for over 20 years now, and she's always enjoyed going out to stay in hotels and set up workshops and have amazing people in her workshops that she can actually help, and she sees the transformation in them. But the problem is, Megan is getting older. She doesn't enjoy going to the hotels so much. She doesn't enjoy the very early morning train journeys. The other thing Megan does, she's an associate for a big training and coaching company, and she's always been one of their top associates. She's always got lots of work from them. The problem is that the work's starting to dry up from that company as well. She no longer gets booked out as often as she did, and she suspects that it's something to do with the fact that perhaps she's a little bit more expensive than some of the younger people coming up behind her. She decides to write a book. She decides to capture everything she knows, everything she's taught, everything she knows that makes a transformational difference to her clients, and she spends a whole year doing it. She signs up for one of those courses, How to Get Your Book on Amazon, and she sets a launch date. She gets the cover designed, she gets a few people to review it and write nice things about it, and she's full of confidence and hope. And launch day comes, and she puts the book onto Amazon, and nothing happens. So she sends an email out to all of her friends and family and asks them to go and review her book. And they do, and still nothing happens. Traditionally, Megan's travelled up and down the country delivering training in workshop rooms, in hotels, and she's also got a load of work from a big training and coaching company as an associate. But she's noticed that kind of work's starting to dry up now. She's not getting as many referrals from her corporate clients, and she's not getting as much work from the big company she works for as an associate. She's just launched a brand new book on Amazon with great hope and excitement, but unfortunately, nothing's happened really. A few people have bought it, but not many. She starts to think, what on earth am I going to do? She's not getting any younger. She's not getting any keener on those early morning train journeys. She suddenly realised that she's been so busy delivering that she hasn't actually worked on building her business. She doesn't have a mailing list, her website doesn't get any traffic, her book's not selling any copies, and she's not making any more money than she used to. In fact, she's making less, and she's getting a little bit worried about her old age. Suddenly, she gets a phone call. It's one of her parents, and they've had a stroke. And now, she's expected to help with that as well. One of her children's in their teens and still wants driving around, and one of her children's off to college. While she's got a little bit of slack in her spare time, it's now being taken up by her elderly parent and their needs. She's feeling pulled in all directions, and she's starting to worry about the future. So she takes a long, hard look at what she's been doing, which is mainly delivering her specialist subject, and not a lot on building her business. She decides that she's going to sign up with a specialist coach and mentor who she's convinced can help her turn things around. So she pays a rather substantial amount of money, and she sets down to work with this person for the next year. Unfortunately, about 3 months in, she realises that that person, while absolutely brilliant, is only teaching her one method. And if her business doesn't fit into that method, or if she doesn't feel comfortable with that method, it's just not going to work for her. What else can she do? She needs to get some leads in quickly, because without leads, she's not going to make any sales. She hasn't got a mailing list, she's got no traffic coming to her website, she's starting from scratch, and she doesn't know where to turn. But there is hope on the horizon. Just recently, she started following a very down-to-earth character on Facebook who puts out daily videos about how you can market yourself better online. She goes over to this person's website and she signs up for a webinar called Be Everywhere Online. She's a little bit nervous about that whole idea because she does realise it'll be pushing herself out of her comfort zone. While she's still got some savings tucked away, it's not going to last forever, and she's getting a little bit concerned. So she needs to be able to take action quickly. She likes what she sees on the webinar, she signs up for a monthly membership, and she gets started with the Be Everywhere Online programme. One of the first things she does is distill her wisdom and her knowledge and all of her experience down, like she has with her book, and she turns it into 12 core topics that her ideal customer or client cares about. Then she starts to make little videos, talking straight to camera just like this. Now she's signed up to Clicks and Leads Academy and she's working her way through the Be Everywhere Online programme. She's distilled problems or the pain her ideal clients got down to 12 key topics. And she's starting to create little videos just like this one that talk to her ideal client about their problem, their pain, their worries, their concerns, and she gives them information every single time that they can take away and turn into some action. People are starting to know, like and trust her. Each one of those videos is going onto her website, her Facebook page, her Facebook profile, her LinkedIn profile, her YouTube channel, her Instagram account. It's being tweeted. Megan is starting to find that she's being everywhere online, and all she has to do is create one video a week. Awesome. Nothing happens for the first couple of weeks. It's a bit early, you wouldn't really expect it, would you? But slowly and surely she starts to get emails coming through from people who've seen her videos. Some people have seen it on Facebook, some people have seen it on Twitter, some people have seen it on LinkedIn, and some people have subscribed to her YouTube channel. She's starting to get people reaching out from back in the day, people she hasn't worked with for years and years, and they really like what she's got to say. So they come along, they opt in for the first chapter of her book. She's offering that free. Then they get jumped to the page where they can actually buy the book, and some of them are even doing that too. Megan's feeling very encouraged now. She's starting to feel a positive momentum building, and she's really glad that she took up the Be Everywhere Online challenge. She absolutely loves being surrounded by other people doing exactly the same as her, but in their different industries. And she loves being able to brainstorm ideas. And every Thursday there's a live call that she can pitch up to and get her questions answered live. She's following up all the people who put their name and email into her new mailing list with a series of emails taking people back to the videos. They can also download the audio and read the transcripts. She's doing what she knows as a trainer is the right thing to do, which is to cater for every learning modality. Some people are visual, some people are audio, and some people like to read. Megan's starting to fly now. She's selling her books, she's building her mailing list, she's got a great following of people on Facebook and Twitter, and her contacts on LinkedIn are growing steadily with the right kind of people. Her email is now full of people asking her to come and speak, and she's got sign-ups for her automated webinar. She ran it once live, she recorded it, and now it's online working for her 24/7, 365 days. Her marketing's only taking her a morning a week because she's now got a virtual assistant who does all the other work for her social media marketing, apart from the bits she can't, like making the videos in the first place. But Megan's so used to that now, she breezes through it. It's not terrifying at all anymore. Her diary's full, Megan's feeling really happy and confident about the future, and all it took was signing up to one little 12-week course called Be Everywhere Online. I made that course, I used it to launch my business again, and I invite you to join me inside the Clicks and Leads Academy, where you can find out how to make sure that you're everywhere online and everyone knows who you are, who you help, and how you do that. Okay, so I am going to start work soon with a new marketer. But you are a marketer, Nicola, I hear you say. Yes, I am, but sometimes it's very, very easy to get too close to your own thing. And the lady I'm going to be working with soon, we're doing a skills swap, is a lady I've worked with on over the years. I respect enormously. She's extremely detail orientated, and I'm hoping she's going to pull out of me some information I didn't know was there. One of the things she talks about a lot is how when you're working with clients, you're offering them a transformation. And I don't think I talk about that enough, so I'm going to be working on that. For the time being, what I've got come up with so far is I help business owners transform themselves into skilled, confident marketers who know how to turn on a tap of leads and sales whenever they want them. Okay, so what's on the blog and the podcast this week? On the podcast this week, we interviewed Linda Cairncross, and she was talking about communication with your customers, and that was a really good interview. She was in New Zealand, we were in England and Greece respectively, so by the power of modern technology we were able to bring that interview to you, which is on ownitthepodcast.com, or you can find it on nicolacairncross.com. See you next week.